What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, and today we're talking the April 22nd, 2024 edition of Raw Talk. Sam Roberts, Megan Moran in the studio, kind of opened the episode of the breaking news of Becky Lynch becoming the new Women's World Champion after winning the Battle Royal main event on Raw moments earlier. Sam Roberts says that she reminded everyone with that win how she changed the industry, and she will continue to do so going forward. They recap Bronson Reed attacking Sami Zayn backstage. We hear from Bronson Reed backstage afterward. Bronson says that he's going to take that championship when he wants it. That was the message that he sent with that attack on Sami on Raw. And that Sami should not be concerned with Chad Gable going forward, mentioning that it's all about them now, just Reed and Sami. And, he's beaten Gable before, Sami's beaten Gable, so it's just about them. And that Sami's not an underdog, and he's going to beat the underdog into him, if he continues to choose to be or label himself an underdog. So in the studio, they replay the Awesome Truth DIY World Tag Team Championship match won by Awesome Truth to retain the belts. They also discussed the Drew McIntyre and Sheamus exchange from Raw. Really good stuff, I thought, before replaying the Sheamus and Nakamura matchup. We hear from Sheamus backstage with Kathy Kelly, and just a great, genuine interview with Sheamus. He's just so great and organic to talk to, because he comes across as such a cool guy, and he's always been really, really nice. But when I met him in person a couple of years back, I kind of got this for myself, that he's the way that we're seeing on TV now, maybe not so much a couple of years ago, but the Sheamus that we're seeing on TV now, like the grateful, down-to-earth Sheamus, is how he is in real life. I've been told that for years, didn't really know for a fact until I met him myself a few years ago and then interviewed him over Zoom soon after, and he is a really great guy. But anyway, he talks here about trying to shake off the ring rust since returning from injury, and he also trying to talk some sense into Drew McIntyre and his ultimate goals of maybe becoming king of the ring once again and hopefully not wearing that dumbass fucking antler outfit that he was back in 2010, 2011. He talks about that and also the Intercontinental Championship being his main priority. And Kathy didn't really even talk about that. She was more so talking about Drew. But he kind of went off on his own tangent talking about, I would want to win King of the Ring and winning Intercontinental Championship. That's the one thing that's always eluded me. And hopefully at some point he does get that fucking title. They replay the Ricochet and Andrade tag team win over JD McDonough and Santos Escobar. Sam Roberts talks about the match itself, but also how good Dominic looked in his opinion. Kind of random, but talking about the fit and then also the stash as well, which looks terrible, but, that's part of the character, I guess. They replay the main event, Becky Lynch becoming the new Women's World Champion, of course. Sam Roberts says that with that win, like he said earlier, Becky continues to prove why she can accomplish everything and anything in WWE. They replay the New Day win over Imperium and Ludwig Kaiser attacking Giovanni Vinci afterward. Sam Roberts says that New Day must be reminded why it's not fun in games when it comes to Imperium. But they don't really talk about the Imperium breakup too much. I assume Kaiser might still be with Gunther based on what we saw when Kaiser walked backstage and Gunther was standing right there kind of nodding in approval. They don't really talk about the betrayal as much, even though they replayed that here, which I thought was odd. They do replay the Gable promo, which was great, him running down the rest of Alpha Academy. We hear from Gable backstage afterward, kind of an extension of the promo that he cut on Raw, so it was great that we got to hear from him here. Gable says that that you've seen a different side to him in the last 4 years. Because Kathy says, what's up with the recent side to you that we've seen lately? And Gable says, well, you were really seeing a different side to me for the last 4 years as part of Alpha Academy. Now I'm getting back to what I know best. Those clowns need to be taught how to handle things properly, is what he says, and that he's doing this for them, and that they're going to help him win the Intercontinental Championship because this is the real Chad Gable. More greatness from Gable here. I thought this was awesome. What we got on Raw was great. This was just as good. Seek this out. It's on the WWE YouTube channel with all the other interviews they do here on the show that I talk about and review. They have its own video on Raw Talk with that interview. And, Gable talking about, explaining his actions and why he did what he did, why he's doing it for the Academy. Great shit here from Chad Gable. It's got to be inevitable that he links up with the Creed brothers as a heel faction. That's got to be the end game here. Sam Roberts says he reaffirms what Gable said, that he's doing it for the group, and that Gable, to kind of echo Scott Hall's advice at one point, that this is not a friendship business. This is a business where you want to either make friends or make money, and Gable's in it to make money by becoming champion. And that it wasn't working the other way with him just kind of pandering to the crowd and being a babyface, that he's got to go this route in order to become champion, which I agree with. They plug Trick Williams for the bump on Wednesday, all but confirming he is winning the NXT Championship tonight. We already knew he was winning, with Dragunov declaring himself for the draft, and Williams sticking around in NXT. You had to know Trick was winning tonight, but they make it pretty obvious here. And they also hyped the draft for Friday SmackDown and Night 2 for next week on Raw. So, that being said, what they've done in years past on SmackDown Lowdown and on Raw Talk is feature the supplemental picks from the WWE Draft on those shows. So, those episodes, more than any other episodes of those shows that Raw Talk and SmackDown that I review here on the channel weekly, those are the ones worth watching for. You can see the results on Twitter, I'm sure, but if you want to find out as soon as everyone else, tune into the shows. I mean, unless they switch up the format, which I think I like the format of doing the supplemental picks, or some of them anyway, on those shows. So tune into SmackDown Lowdown and Raw Talk for those picks starting on Saturday. Usually it goes up around noon. My review went up on Sunday, but that was because the review or the episode wasn't uploaded to Peacock on time. It went up like hours later. So I don't know what time it went up on Saturday ultimately, but when it does go up, I'll watch it, review it, and the picks will be up at that point. And then Raw Talk obviously airing after Raw, and we'll talk about that next Tuesday here on the show. So, until next time, guys, thank you so much for checking out the review. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Have an awesome one, guys. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.